Okay, just adjusting my hair. Okay, here's the deal. Just some hopeless, disgusting movie studio thought it would be a good idea to remake 1994's The Crow. If you don't know what that movie is, go watch it, bitch. But even if you haven't seen the original, this film would still be an incomprehensible slog to get through. It's universally bad. You don't need the original to know that this is bad. I don't want to talk about this movie. It's so boring. It's nearly 2 hours long, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to sacrifice my comfort to bring you guys content, but also to get all this aggression and anger that I feel about this film off my chest. And naturally, I have the perfect hair and outfit to review this film. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
So, do you think The Crow's gonna be like a franchise? Is it something, are we gonna see Crow 18?
I hope not. I mean, I haven't even begun to think about what Crow 18 would be.
Would you like to try some slime? Make sure you watch The Crow in theaters.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
A young Eric Draven is walking home to his trailer park, completely, like, in the mud when he could easily avoid it by walking a little bit to the right, where, like, the grass and dry ground is. I don't know, it was a little nitpick, whatever. One thing that's okay about the scene is that there's emphasis on the bag. There's a bottle of liquor in it, signaling that his mom is an alcoholic. This underage child is able to go to a liquor store without ID to buy his mother alcohol without one single problem, because he's got a receipt. He didn't lift that shit. Clearly the mother prioritizes addiction over her own child. Boom, got it. Nice little subtle thing. I wish the rest of the movie was this subtle. It's not. Eric has a pet horse right next to his dilapidated trailer in bum nowhere. Apparently the horse is dying, but not of starvation, considering the fact that there's no barn, there's no hay, there's no facilities in order to properly take care of a horse. White horse, clearly representing Eric's innocence, and his innocence is dying, even though his innocence would have already died considering his mother's an alcoholic and he's had to live with that for his very short life up to this point, so we didn't really need that. And then, like, the scene, like, has all these crows flying everywhere, as if you didn't get the point that this was a crow film. Just like flocks of crows. The editor splices in footage of adult Eric and his mom. I think the mom is either asleep or dying. It's not clear. I don't know what the I don't know. This opening is so dumb. Apparently Eric is nutting in his sleep, and that was very important to put in the scene. Yeah, you know, it could have been worse. It could be really poorly edited, which it was. Just when you think it can't get any worse, there's voiceover from our mumble-mouthed protagonist.
When someone you love dies, you will know emptiness. You will know what it is to be completely and utterly alone. You will never forget, and you will never, ever
forgive. Like, so generic. Wait, do we need that? And keep in mind, this is over a horse. I will never forgive that barbed wire for killing my horse. Yeah. Like, what the are you talking about? They could have cut this entire scene and just went straight into the Thirst Trap opening credits. Speaking of which, Thirst Trap opening credits, leading to one of the most obnoxious Hot Topic title sequences. What is this font? 3 edgy 5 me, guys.
Change the font.
So yeah, we cut to our co-protagonist, Shelly, Eric's girlfriend, who dies. You know, she dies in the original. Keep that in mind. Who is being played by FKA Twigs, aka recording artist FKA Twigs, aka Shia LaBeouf's victim. She gets a call from a little blonde, short Asian bitch. She says that she sent her a very damning video. She warns Shelly that she showed this video to somebody, and somehow through that, the villain of the film, who we will get to, found out, and that she and her are in danger. Now, here's my question. It's like, why the would you show this very damning video of you and some friends, especially like one of your closest friends, committing a crime in the first place, committing that crime in the home of a very powerful person?
Why
did you do this?
If Shelley is coming off a little bit too calm for comfort, it's because FKA Twigs can't act for shit. It's almost like you should hire actors and not musicians to play acting roles, especially when you give the character more to do. A lot more to do. And we'll get to that.
I think they've got someone on them. If they're following me, they're following you.
So you know someone's following you, that you have a tail on you right now, and you are on the phone with this bitch, and you went back to your house?
If they're following me, they're following you.
Hello, Zadie.
Wah, wah, wah. You stupid bitch! You deserve to die.
There were other options, Zadie.
Options? Like not letting a bunch of 20-year-old deadheads commit a crime and film it? If you knew this was going to be a problem for you and your employer, why the would you let them film it in the first place? You see how it's already, like, terrible? So anyway, Killa Swinton incapacitates a little short bitch. Shelley overhears it, she panics, locks up her phone, leaves the apartment. Of course, one of the bad guy's henchmen tails her. She runs from the guy and accidentally bumps into some cops. Cops find a bunch of drugs in her purse. So she takes that opportunity to let herself get locked up and go to rehab, because at least she'll be safe there. Speaking of the rehab, it seems to have a lot of fan service in which we are reintroduced to our protagonist. I don't like calling him Eric Draven because this is not Eric Draven. This is Hot Topic, soft boy era. I don't want to call him the Crow. I'd rather call him the Beta because that is more accurate to who he is in the film. Terrible tattoos, especially the one on his back, which is just a quote from an H.P. Lovecraft poem called Despair. Yeah, he one of them Tumblr niggas who got paragraphs tattooed on him. The second scene we see him in is him getting accosted by bullies at the rehab, literally going through like a Maoist style struggle session in order for him to get him to open up.
But these exercises are meant to get you past the destructive behaviors that brought you here.
This rehab facility is really up. How does putting addicts through stressful, borderline violent situations supposed to help them at all? And he just, like, refuses to defend himself. His character has, like, pacifist elements to him, even though they don't, like, really explore that. It's kind of just, like, here. You just make him a coward for some reason. Oh, he's also a cutter, because we didn't have enough emo Tumblr bitch warning signs. We cut from the rehab to the main antagonist of the film, played by Danny Houston. When you want, like, a villain in a film, someone who's gonna bring some class, sitting around with a cigar, looking pimp as and coming off menacing and creepy. That's it. That's all he does. Kilda Swinton brings Danny Houston, a little short bitch, so he can do some expositing. Because before you kill somebody, you want them to know why you're killing them. Naturally. In not so many words, he basically explains that he delivers souls to the devil in exchange for eternal life. Now, that's very important. You really hang on to that, because this little plot point gets 3 ways from Sunday. He does this thing where he whispers in your ear.
I know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
He makes you kill yourself in the goofiest way possible. It's like stab, stab, stab. Why not just like Charlize Theron that shit from Devil's Advocate in one swipe and make it go by fast? Like why stab, 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 like... But anyway, he harvests her soul, and we cut back to the rehab where Shelley and Eric doing their calisthenics. He gets bitched out, and that really turns her on for some reason. Gets completely emasculated, and like, for some reason, she is taken by that. Like I said, themes, there are patterns, and we're going to do some pattern noticing. It becomes very apparent very early on in the film that Shelley is being elevated over Eric, which is basically just a common practice in Hollywood now. Like, hey, remember that male hero that you liked, probably admired, or you just really liked as a character? No. You. We're gonna put an annoying flat woman in his place. That should help. That should make us whole all the monies.
It does it, by the way.
I mean, look at their first interaction. She approaches him and he said, oh, no, we can't sit together because, you know, co-ed seating isn't allowed, which is stupid because it's a co-ed rehab. Why would you even have a co-ed rehab when they can't even be co-ed in the co-ed rehab? Anyway, oh no, we can't sit together because it's a co-ed place. And then she defiantly says, yeah, they told me. And from here, it like sets the dynamic of their relationship. She is defiant, divergent, cool, talented, and he is a soggy pile of tissue paper. Just utterly useless. It takes him at least 42 minutes to become the Crow. 42! When in the original, it was like the first 5 minutes of the film? And for those first 40 minutes, he's getting bitched out, he's getting emasculated, he ain't got no job, he ain't doing like, this nigga is soggy. He's soggy. I'm not gonna say soft, because soft has a positive connotation to it. Like soggy, you can't get nothing positive from that. So I'm calling the nigga soggy. So Soggy introduces himself. We get like, a little montage, the flirtation, even though they have no romantic chemistry whatsoever. There's this one scene where they're in a circle with other inmates surrounding each other, and the counselor there is like, "Have you ever been abandoned and beaten? Step into the circle." I would have liked this if they had done it smarter. Everybody slowly steps in the circle. Of course, the camera's only focused on Eric and Shelley, and like the more steps they take, the closer they are to each other, to the point where they're the only two left in the circle. With every step was like a new stage in their life together. One step, they're getting clean, and then the next step, they both get jobs, and then the next step, they get married, and then the next step, they become fully functioning members of society. They move up to the status of the Eric and Shelley from the original. That would have made this scene work. But no, they completely waste that opportunity. I found myself rewinding this scene over and over again, because I'm like, damn, y'all almost had it. Y'all almost had it. Damn it. But nothing really progresses from that. Nothing really comes from that. So you're just like, okay, that was almost something. Smash cut to Eric crying in his room because his drawings got messed up. There's nothing wrong with men crying. There's nothing wrong with that. But considering the fact that this man had to fend for himself since he was a child, had an alcoholic mother, saw like his only pet die right in front of him, you would think he'd have thicker skin at this point.
These songs or poems?
It's just shit that I write.
Some of this would be great set to music.
Shelley fits the I like bad boys trifecta. She was raised by a single mom. The mother was living vicariously through her. I mean, there's themes of her being thrust into the music industry, like in a way that was very untoward. And she was around a lot of skeevy people. They make a point of pointing that out. So she would have a need to feel protected. But Soggy has been nothing but a sullen, meek, mumble-mouthed pussy boy who doesn't even care about his own well-being. Like, again, why is Shelley attracted to this nigga? But moving on, Danny Houston's henchmen show up to the rehab looking for her because her mother gave her up. Her mother's a weak bitch. She doesn't really have that much character, so I don't really expect any. They escape through the laundry room where the window is just open for them to escape. So let me get this right. There's no security cameras in the hallways. The laundry room window is just like just open. There's no security patrolling the grounds. There's at the ready with rubber bullets to pop a cap and anyone escaping. No motion sensors to sound the alarms, and the only way security can track them is through the ankle bracelets, which are very easy to remove. Whatever. During one of the few interesting shots of the film, Soggy asks Shelley who those people were, and she replies,
A former life.
Man, you corny!
Like, that's literally how she answers him. You're not deep, and you're not interesting, and you're not mysterious. Just answer a question. Like, so they escape right back to her compromised hideout. The hideout in which the villain put one of his henchmen outside of. They know she could potentially go back there. Nobody called Danny Houston to tell him, like, hey, look, she escaped. You might want to put another guy outside that apartment building she was slumming at because she might go back there.
You don't have to stay. Maybe it's safer if you don't.
So if it's not safe, then why the would you go back there, bitch? And why the didn't you warn him before you went back? Just the dumbest. It's so dumb. You see what I'm saying? I barely have to reference the original film because this movie is dumb all by itself. But yeah, they start because why not? We need to establish, oh yeah, they couple now. It's like two rocks rubbing together. Off. And after they do some drugs and trash this guy's apartment, the guy who is kind enough to let this deadhead stay there, whose apartment you've also compromised because you have gangsters on your ass.
100,000 sperm and you were the fastest.
You know what worked about the original? Baseline relatability. That's usually how it works for these like revenge type flicks and these anti-hero type flicks. You understand what this person lost, whether you yearn for it or you've had it before. And that's what gets you invested in the protagonist's journey. OG Eric had the good job, the hot wife, that fat ass crib. They were mentoring that little girl who was being neglected by her crackhead mom. Even though they do live like the alternative rocker lifestyle, it's still relatable and they're still good people at heart. And then these two motherfuckers, they're greasy ass, overly tattooed drug addicts who are being hunted by a demonic billionaire. Don't nobody want that life. No! That! And on top of everything, like, their relationship has no development. They have no chemistry between each other. So when it starts to go down, you don't really give a It kind of rings hollow. Why should we believe in you? Why should we follow you? Why should we care that one or both of you dies? You're everything that people don't like about society. The mooching, the drug using, the pretentiousness.
What kind of tea is hard to drink? Reality.
Man, you corny!
Off!
Promise me something. If I'm ever hard to love, try to love me harder.
Red flag! So anyway, we cut to them in the apartment and they're playing around, and for some reason the camera zooms in on the trench coat that he later will wear in the film. Does anybody really like remember the significance of Eric's coat in the original? Like, was that really like a thing? I mean, most of the time he's just wearing that shirt with the holes in it and the duct tape and shit. Is it a Men's Warehouse product placement? Who cares? It's a coat. A coat that is not either of theirs, by the way. It belongs to the person whose house they are slumming it in.
Losers!
Later, the cops find a little short bitch's body in a lake, which was very easy to discover. Like, she's all in one piece. You'd think a satanic billionaire murderer would have like buried her deep underground where no one could find her. But no, she's right there in the lake. And I guess he has the cops on his payroll because the cop immediately calls him and says, hey, we got a problem. We found the body. If you have a cop on the payroll, why can't he just cover it up? And who originally found this body? I mean, why would you throw
this bitch in a shallow gully?
And once again, if you knew it was so easy to ruin you with a video, why the hell would you let them film it? I mean, aren't you under the power and the orders of the devil and a billionaire to boot? You couldn't stop one Zoomer from using a camera phone? And you've been doing this for centuries? This movie is garbage. And then we smash cut to our protagonists having a romantic date at the lake.
What are you reading?
Rimbaud?
Oh, a female protagonist is so deep. She's reading the poetry of Arthur Rimbaud during a drug-filled weekend at the lake with a bunch of retards. The screenwriter seems to think this is what humans do.
I don't want it to end.
It doesn't have to.
But it will, because y'all ain't got jobs. And that's the moment where reality should have set in and Shelley should have been like, am I gonna be taking care of this nigga for the rest of my life? And this is really gonna piss y'all off. Remember the original where Eric Draven was a talented musician? In the remake, they gave that plot line to Shelley.
Why don't you play?
No.
No, we both know you're better at this than me.
No.
I mean,
No.
So Soggy, this Eric has nothing going on. Also, where did she get this apartment from? Is this a courtesy of her mother's money? Because y'all ain't got no job. And as Shelley's playing the piano, she gets flashbacks to another time she played the piano, and people were dying. So she has a fit and they go outside to get some air and talk. And I noticed that Soggy is wearing Shelley's jacket. He can fit her jacket. He's wearing her jacket like he's the girlfriend.
Beta!
if I jumped, you'd jump with me.
Of course I would. Beta!
Do you think angsty teens would build little shrines for us?
We're cringe and angsty. Making fun of your own shit writing only makes us question why the you have a career. We smash cut to a rave that they are attending with some friends until someone brutally interrupts them.
Shelly! Zadie's dead. They're gonna come for us, Shelly.
Now, I'm wondering why the during this whole sex-filled, drug-induced love fest.
Oh, nigga, you gay!
During all that, she wasn't questioning what the happened to her friend. You were too busy laid up with this greasy nigga to make a phone call. The writers just kind of forgot about certain things and just didn't write it in until later on in the movie. That's what it comes off like. I hate this movie. And they both leave to go back to the apartment, where of course the henchman are waiting. I don't understand why I didn't catch y'all 2 weeks ago, but they're here now to finally get the plot moving. And then they subdue him, and of course he doesn't fight back because he's a bitch. And what kills me about this scene, which I pointed out in my trailer reaction, is that they try to suffocate these two idiots with those vegetable bags you get at the grocery store. The ones that are easy to rip open. One of them has their hands free, but she kind of just doesn't try. Okay, and the director really makes a point to get a close-up of their faces as they suffocate because, oh, that's so edgy. It's so much more traumatic than 4 or 5 guys wolfpacking your girl and then killing her and then throwing you out of a window. No, suffocation by grocery bag. That's what... Sloppily cut to the both of them, presumably in that same shallow-ass gully that the short bitch was in. And Shelly is like reaching for Soggy as Soggy reaches for her, and the symbolism and the oh and And he swims his way out of the water and is greeted by Mexican Billy Crystal.
People once believed when someone dies.
This guy, he's exposition man.
But sometimes something so bad happens that the terrible sadness is carried with it, and the soul cannot rest.
This is another thing that's completely ass-fucked throughout this entire film. They don't even follow their own rules. This movie did not give a shit, but we'll get to that. Of course, Soggy is reluctant to believe that any of this shit is real, and he's like, I just want to wake up, and then old dude just pushes him into sewer water, and then he just wakes up back in the apartment. Like it's nothing, like no pomp, no circumstance, clever editing, no tone. This movie is flavorless. Cut back to the apartment. The dirty cop from before who drudged short bitch out of the river finds him alive and re-kills him, this time with something a little bit more permanent. But then of course Soggy wakes back up because this is a Crow movie. I'll give the movie credit. The character learns that he is invulnerable through his own experience with like hand-to-hand fighting. There's no exposition. He learns, and that's a good thing. Okay, fine. But then I think about how he got himself shot so easily. Dude, you're like a career drug addict, and I'm sure you've been like bouncing in and out of institutions and out of jail cells, and Soggy just has like no awareness of the world around him. He just implicitly trusts this cop despite knowing what happened before, and then the fact that his girlfriend is suspiciously missing. He's strangely sinister.
You can come out, boy.
The way he was speaking, there was no reassurance or procedural decorum, and the accent, let's be honest, is a little off-putting. Like, read the room. This is not your friend. So anyway, he leaves the apartment and starts following around the Crow, because the Crow is supposed to be his guide in his quest for vengeance. Oh, his coat says goon. But we barely get any of the Crow. Like, usually, like, the Crow is very prominent in all of the films. He's just there for, like, aesthetic, the little aesthetic that this movie actually has. He makes his way back to the bridge that they were at in the previous scene, and for some reason he sees a vision of Shelly about to throw herself off the bridge. I don't know why. I think it was just a vision to be like, yeah, hey, she's dead, you dumb. When in the first film, he just got his memory back after being dead for a year. Like, I'm telling you, the first movie was just so good, guys. Just so simple and compact. Remembering who he is, what happened to him, it's all compacted into one, 2-minute scene, and then he's the Crow. And that's it! Instead, he gotta go through all this bullshit.
She's dead, isn't she? No. You said I can make the wrong things right. What does that mean?
The one who killed you is not supposed to be in your world. Kill them, and you get your lives back.
The problem with this is putting the wrong things right in the OG was contingent on the fact that they were good people who were killed and deserved justice. Period. Because Eric's soul could not rest with his woman, with all that unfinished business. And now in this one, oh, well, yeah, centuries-old billionaire is, like, disrupting the natural order and becoming, like, immortal. And so God is hedging his bets on a wet spaghetti noodle to stop him, with no formal training in combat or any kind of, like, motivation as a human anything. Y'all couldn't hire an archangel or, like, a dead Marine to get this job done? Y'all, this nigga, after centuries sitting on your asses, this is your savior? This is the dude? That's the homie? Why would you write that? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have decided to review this movie.
What I I can heal. I can't die.
Your body? No. Feel pain? Yes.
Because even though you're dead, you still have nerve endings.
If your love remains pure, you cannot die.
What?
We have some new lore. Their love was never pure to begin with. They met under very unpure circumstances. They knew each other for a week. They drank. They did drugs. And that's pure love? Get the out of here, bro. And then he pushes him down again for him to wake up back on Earth. What a dick. So smash cut to Eric going over to one of their friends' crib to ask for a gun. One of their old friends, by the way, is the guy from The Woman King with his terrible lace front.
Literally me.
Lovely light skin. Just a little fun fact. What's funny about this scene is that he asks for the gun and bro's like,
Eric, what are you gonna do with it?
because he thinks he's such a pussy. How would he even use it? He collects the gun, makes his way to Shelley's funeral, and links up with her mom. Why do we have a picture of Lisa Bonet? He questions the mother. Who's after her? Why were you there at the rehab with the henchman? Why don't you have a character? Like that. It's the most tepid scene. Like nothing in this movie really happens. This is the mother of the love of your life, and like you have no emotion. You should have been like raw, especially at the fact that she set her up and sicked the henchman on her. But no, he's just kind of like, I'm gonna kill him every single one of them. And then he says something really stupid.
And I'm gonna bring her back.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Don't you think it would alarm this already distressed, grieving mother? Which it does, by the way.
You don't listen to me.
And then he casually leaves the room as she's having a mental breakdown on the floor. Like the dick that he is. He goes to her room and starts searching it and finds the link between her and Danny Houston. And then starts sniffing some letters she wrote or something.
What a loser.
He makes his way to Danny Houston's building, and he just casually walks right on past one of the henchmen who killed him and Shelley. I've already tackled this scene.
I killed you.
Yeah, you did.
Wait a minute!
I killed you.
Yeah, you did.
Ooh. I killed you. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think there is a scene from the original Crow that mirrors this.
I know you. I know you. I knew you. I knew you. But you ain't you. You can't be you. We put you through the window. There ain't no coming back.
I killed you.
Yeah, you did.
What's that?
It's just worse. And that's what another thing that this movie is missing. Just human moments. That scene from the original when dude just is having a complete crisis of faith, just his pants in fear at the fact that there is a walking corpse in front of him that's about to end his life. As much as he is a cold-blooded killer, there's still like a cavalcade of emotion. He's just babbling like an idiot because he just can't believe what the he is seeing in that moment. But in this, he's like, we killed you. There's no humanity in this film. It's just dead. This movie is nothing. Like a lot of modern films today, they're just nothing. And he starts to question this guy. Dude pulls a gun, and Soggy just kills him right then and there. I'm like, well, I guess that's over. I mean, why would you panic that he was gonna kill you? You cannot die. So the fear-induced slippery trigger finger, like, what was that about? You just ruined one of your main leads, you idiots. Why do you have tinnitus? You're dead. So he takes Bro's phone, and you think that would, I don't know, like be a vital piece of information, like to leads him to the next bit of his investigation. But then when he walks around the corner, he just so happens to come upon the rest of the henchmen anyway.
Oh no!
We're having a roadside fight, baby, and it's really Soggy screams at every stubbed toe. But dude gets shot in the mouth and has no reaction. Is he a crow too? Does he have crow powers? Oh, you should actually have tinnitus. There's times where he's trying to reach for people and can't do it while also fighting other people. Like, nigga, you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
You're not so experienced where you can beat a motherfucker right here and then reach for another motherfucker over there. It's just not. What are you doing? You are no Brandon Lee! Anyway, that fucking shit's over. The director went on record to say that he wanted Eric to be inexperienced. Good job, by the way. But even someone inexperienced would have like a backup weapon, like a knife, a club, just anything. And the implication from the new filmmakers that OG Eric was somehow OP, like overpowered, is just simply ridiculous. Yes, he did have a huge advantage over the bad guys. Yes, I know. But that's because he's already dead. When he caught T-Bird's knives with total ease, it's because as a corpse, he lacks the ability to be anxious, which enhances his focus and eye coordination. Now, the new Eric, Soggy, is just as anxious and twitchy as he was when he was alive, which takes away what differentiates being living or dead, which is nice. So the mystical element of the crow just feels kind of lost. Like I said, great job, guy who fucked Kristen Stewart. So we're back with Danny Houston, who goes to visit Shelley's mom and question her.
What did he want?
He wants to kill you.
Anger. First impulse.
It's not anger. It's love.
It was a week. Come on. And where the did you get love from that brief, awkward interaction? Come on, bro. Stop playing in my face like this. So anyway, Shelley's mom dies.
Baron, he has been sent back. The power to escape death exists within him.
The power to escape death exists within him. Why are you concerning yourself with that? Or isn't that something that you are already doing? I mean, him killing innocents and taking their souls instead of like the murderers and rapists also doesn't make any sense, but we'll get to that. So Soggy catches up with Hoodie Dude from the club. Hoodie Dude relays to Soggy that Danny Houston whispers in your ear and speaks to the darkest parts of a person's soul to make them do abhorrent things. That's where this falls apart.
He burrows inside you, finds the darkest parts of your soul, and gives them a voice.
So if that part of your soul is already there, if it already taints your soul and it damns you to hell anyway, then that soul was never really innocent to begin with when you sent them to hell. What's with the whole thing about, oh, I can't do guilty people anymore, I have to do innocent people? Like, why? That was pointless. You could have just been doing like the rapist and killer thing, like you've been doing, or maybe just not give the villain supernatural powers. It's bad. So anyway, Hoodie Dude tells Soggy about the video. It features Shelley, his perfect little biracial angel, murdering somebody at the behest of Danny Houston. Remember going back to earlier? Mexican Billy Crystal was like, hey, your love has to remain pure in order for you to stay alive. But suddenly now his love for her is tainted because he sees this video, forgetting the fact that Hoodie Dude explicitly told you that Danny Houston mind melds people into doing bad things against their will. So you know she really didn't do it by herself, but somehow that's making you question your love for her? Like, you are a bitch. Like, I hate you. I hate you. And before he even watches the video, he gets the very plot relevant trench coat that like we care oh so much about. They even flash back to when the director zoomed in on the trench coat. Oh, it's so annoying. Yeah, we're frolicking in this house that doesn't belong to us. This soundtrack is trash. It's so ass. Oh my god, I wanna fall on some glass. Oh, for some reason I'm so cold and affected by the rain even though I'm dead. Oh, I'm hugging myself. He goes back to Lovely Lightskin's apartment to explain that his love is depurifying. He doesn't say that explicitly, but that's basically what's happening. He says, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't love her because this, no, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh, this guy. They're proceeding under the assumption that this was Shelley's conscious decision. It is so annoying, and it completely screws up the Collect Innocent Souls plotline. You led the henchman right to your friend's house, had no awareness of your surroundings, didn't give a flying, and now the dude is dead. Yeah, thanks for deciding to fight at the last minute after your friend gets his head blown off.
You repel me.
The fight concludes. They shoot him point blank in the chest. He dies because his love's not pure no more. No.
Why am I back here? You couldn't see it through.
Oh, that's what happens when you hire pussies to do a man's job. See, now they're openly admitting, yeah, we shouldn't have given you this power because you're a puss. Then why did you give it to him?
The enemy of love is not hate, it's doubt.
It's actually indifference, but okay.
I never doubted her.
didn't you?
I mean, we all saw the scene a few seconds ago, you retard.
You were just a boy. At least your soul can move on.
That ain't how that works. That's not how the original movie works. Seeing what he's seen and knowing what he knows, there's no way his soul can just move on from that. Get the f out of here. This movie, like, that, So anyway, Mexican Bill Crystal said, like, look, get the f out of here, you bitch ass nigga. And Soggy then makes a deal.
My soul for hers.
The crows surround him like he's Batman. And the Mexican Billy Crystal's like, with this black blood, you will move between both worlds. Yeah, like, this is total sequel bait. If you remember when I read those, like, plot leaks, all the crow shit we saw Soggy doing before, he wasn't really the crow yet. He's not the crow until this scene, which is just, what? That can only be for a sequel. I mean, well, it was for a sequel. This movie didn't do too well. I think 3 weeks after it was in theaters, it made it to streaming. Do with that information what you will.
Go put the wrong things right.
I mean, like, officially, for realsies this time. He gets this black blood whatever, and he's suddenly competent. He suddenly knows how to use a gun properly. He's suddenly got all this confidence. He's actually even more invulnerable than he was before. And let's be real, the only reason he was given the black blood is so that him and the villain could have more conflict at the end of the movie. That's it. So all the killing's done. He's casually sitting next to his friend who got shot in the head, because that's what friends are for. This is such a piece of shit. He's so badass, he finishes his own tattoo, bro. Remember when I said about this soundtrack just being like a jukebox? Like, what is going on? The makeup made sense in the OG. It was something that was tied to Eric and Shelley's relationship. I don't know what the point is this here. I don't, what is that? Cringe. Yeah, I know there's some people who are gonna say he had a katana in the original. Yeah, but that was a spur of the moment weapon that he just picked up off the wall. They make a whole production out of him finding this katana, and then he pokes it into the mirror because mirrors. It's so dumb. Anyway, Eric makes his way to this ball or like opera thing, whatever. Yeah, this movie's gone on too long. I'm sundowning. Normally there's like a call made by security and like the bad guy is evacuated just in case. But no, Eric just walks into the place. There's a fight scene. He gets all shot up. The security just lets him get just so close to Danny Houston. These are the worst criminals ever. Nobody's doing a good job. The fight scene is fine. It's just fine. In my opinion, it's just overly bloody. The violence would be so much more cathartic if I gave a because there's no connective tissue, you know, being characterization or a plot. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, he's cutting people up. Who cares? It's just mindless bullshit. Like, wait. He shoots at the guy shooting at him, but he shoots at him right there. Boom. Because you see a little blood splatter right there. But the dude shooting don't move. He don't move. It's even worse here. Because when Soggy shoots at the security guy, there's no blood splatter. And he's even late to react to the gunshot. Bravo. How do you make that worse? Why? Like, why? Yeah, taunting innocent people who have nothing to do with your vengeance. That's definitely something that Eric Draven would have done. Yeah, I'm still in this movie, by the way. Oh, get fucked with this soundtrack. So Soggy makes his way to Danny Houston's country mansion where he's hiding out like a bitch. For some reason, Eric and all his like blood-soaked tyranny, he just lets Danny Houston monologue 4 straight minutes. It's just blah, 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 blah. Fast forward. Let's skip. Danny Houston tries to take Soggy's soul.
Okay.
I don't know why he assumes he's able to do that, like just suck out the black blood with his soul-sucking powers. I don't get that. They don't elaborate on any of this. They really just don't give a shit. And as Danny Houston is sucking Soggy's soul out, there's this whole montage of like, oh, you know, I love her. Love will keep us together. Love is all we need is love. I'm gonna kill you. I guess guess what triggers him like going back to the upside down world? What, just falling? How does that happen? And there's some more monologuing and more talking. Yeah, like I said, I'm completely checked out of this shit.
You think she's worth it? Eternal hell?
The terrible green screen?
Was a f***ing whore?
I mean, he's got a point. You met some mid in rehab and fell in love with her after a week. Oh, this punchy, even though we're like in a supernatural world and you can probably do a lot more than that. Punchy.
You have no idea what hell awaits you. Yeah, I do.
That's even worse than the trailer. Oh no. These gooey, crunchy, electric eels take him to hell. Whatever. Eric finally gets his mid back. And he tells her, like, look, okay, I may have done something kind of dumb. I exchanged
My soul for hers.
So yeah, you're gonna have to live your entire life with the knowledge of my death, deal with the pain of that. And since everyone you've ever known or loved has either skipped town or jumped out of a window, you're gonna have to deal with all that pain and anguish alone. Sorry. To be fair, like, I have just as much value here as I did on Earth. So, oh, and that drug addiction, I hope you get over that. And I hope you don't, like, lapse back into it because you're dealing with my death. All she has is like the fleeting thought of a pussy douchebag she knew for a week. You turn a charismatic, well-spoken, masculine, and let's be honest, kind of sexy as well, protagonist into a dead simp. But anyway, back to the film. Shelley, she's back on Earth. And of course, the corpse of her week-long boyfriend is right next to her, and she has to see that. That's great. That's always a good thing. And they show the shot of like the cry now, cry later tattoo, and then she cries, and then it's a cry, and it's such art. It's so artsy. It's kind of weird, because it's like, what? So y'all just went back in time? We're time traveling now? Why?
Our love will live on in everything she does.
That's quite presumptuous, don't you think? How long do you think her love is going to last once she gets her life together and then finds a hard-bodied, chiseled, driven musician who outclasses you in every way? Love is not blind devotion to someone without any reciprocation. That's simping. You're a dead simp, Eric.
Someday, I know, our souls will find each other again.
Well, I hope she doesn't have a husband and family by then, simpy, because you ain't never gonna see her again if that's the case.
Till then, I will have just a memory.
My last memory of her will be this spaz dance. So, anyway, that's the movie. Lovely, wasn't it? Yeah, no, it's trash. I can't even play around. This is such garbage. There wasn't even any fake outrage that could have propped this film up. It just died. It was just gone. Everyone, I think, collectively assumed this was going to be terrible. Because you cannot catch lightning in a bottle twice. Look at the sequels. The Crow 2024 remake. Bland, flavorless, boring. There's absolutely no style. They completely nerfed Eric to build up Shelley. She's even less than the Shelley from the original. And their scenes in the original were just basically just like a collection of flashbacks. But you know what? It still works because we only, like I said, we only needed like baseline relatability to get on board with Eric and his journey. Bill Skarsgård basically had nothing to work with. I know a lot of people simp for him, but I'm gonna be real. His performance is trash. At the end of the day, I think he knew what it was. I think he knew he was in a stinker and he just didn't try. There's a couple times where it's like there's a glimmer of something, but overall his performance was not good. FKA Twigs was even worse. Everybody is asleep. Like, there's nobody really trying where that's a standout to keep you awake. I am so happy that this movie killed any possibility of a sequel, because you know that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a sequel off the Eric Draven name, which is completely disrespectful to Brandon Lee. What the are you doing? They thought this movie was going to speak to somebody. They wanted the subvert your expectations, made for a modern audience type deal. They couldn't even do that. It's beautiful. It's art. How they this up. I knew I wouldn't get this done until 3 a.m. Oh my god. I'm glad to finally get this out when I wanted to. Whenever the this is coming out. But yeah, I'm Audi 5000. Deuces.